had total trust in having it.
Are there any questions up here from people further up the theatre? Yes, at the front there.
Very interested in the clock and all the names that appear on the clock. Who came up with the names?
I can answer that. We put a list up in the rehearsal room and everybody wrote their names down. And then I took out, there was a load of religious ones that I took out, and political ones that I took out because I felt like the ideas behind this piece were about artistic creation. So we sifted it a bit, and what you saw was the result of everybody's input.
I mean, the point of it, and it was a concept that came very early on about what number 12 meant in the final of the clock, is that the clock was about creation, but it was about whoever we have felt at one point or another that has changed our lives. So you know, I had my own personal favourites like Tennessee Williams, of course. But then everybody between Katrina, Lindsay, and myself, you know, we started talking about people that have done a great deal of influence in our lives as artists before, and we also came together compiling the list, and then it was kind of fascinating to see the dancers coming up with their own list in a completely different generation. But then more importantly was people trying to read them very quickly and then realizing that maybe their own favourites had been missing from that list. So the debate was kind of open in only the course of 2.5 minutes. So already the fact that you have people that have changed their lives seemed to be what was the humanity of the final act, which the most incredible thing is not the object in itself, but the minds that actually create the incredible things.
Okay, one there and then over there. Are there any up at the top later? Yeah, okay, we'll come to you next. So, down here. Yeah.
Regarding songs, you always ask what is written first, the music or the words, and how was it with the ballet? Was it the physical things and then the dance moves were created, or was it vice versa, or was it in parallel?
So that was whether it was the music or the words or the dance, in which order it came. Do you want to answer that?
Well, first comes a lot of heartache and despair, and then comes the music, and then the rest of it.
Always the music comes first. You cannot create the first step without having the music first, and it was important that order was kept.
But actually the first thing we did was ask Matthew to come in and do a treatment of the story, because the story is so short, it's just 4 pages long. It was one he wrote very late in his life. And so that was actually the first thing that we did, was to see whether it was possible to expand it into something more. So in a way the words came first, I suppose. There was someone over here. Yes?
Chris and Neil, after the excellent and underrated Closer to Heaven, and then obviously this, are you tempted to go down the, dare I say, Mamma Mia route? Traditional voice, style, full-blown musical.
So the question was about the vastly underrated Closer to Heaven, and then there's whether the boys are interested to do a Mamma Mia route with a full-blown musical with all their hits.
No.
Okay, just a couple more questions. There was someone right upstairs.
Can I ask, what do you think of the reviews that the ballet's been given in the national press?
So that question was about the reviews that we've been getting in the national press. I don't know if you started up there, but I couldn't hear you, so we'll come back to you.
Well, did anyone read the Daily Express review, which said that this ballet ended with a black wedding and misery? I don't know what he was watching.
You obviously left before the end.
I just want to go back to someone up there. Yeah, go on, right at the back there.
Is ballet a formula work with again?
Is ballet a formula that the boys will work with again?
Yeah, I think we really love this experience. We always wanted to work in the musical theatre. We wrote the musical Close to Home you mentioned, and then suddenly there were a lot of pop musicals around. And the idea, when this idea between Chris and Ivan Petrov came up with writing a ballet, it seemed like a very interesting thing that there wasn't pop stars queuing up to do at that point. And also it was a different form of musical theatre, you know, where you have a narrative and do it through music and dance. And I think, you know, we've learned a lot from writing it. We couldn't have written this if we had written the music of Bach Potemkin, I think, which we learned a lot from writing instrumental music. So I think if we had the right idea, if someone approached us the right idea, we might do something like this.
Can I say, just going back to the critics, our target audience was intelligent audience and not the critics.
Okay, we've got time for one more question.
Firstly, congratulations to Nick and Chris. Fantastic pieces there. Did you have to follow strict criteria when you were approached to write the music? Or did you have a free run?
The question is whether the boys had to write to a strict criteria or whether they had a kind of free rein with what they wrote.
Well, that's the reason we approached Matthew Dunster, is because the actual story is only 3 pages and it's quite difficult to flesh that out, you know, in terms of music. So Matthew Dunster filled it out and made it a lot easier for us to write the music too. So we were actually following his script quite closely. Without that, I don't think we could have started. It's not much of a Potemkin, we actually just put the film into the computer and we're actually writing directly to the scenes. And Matthew Dunster provided words for us to, same as the film, really. Otherwise, I don't think we could have. I wouldn't know where to start with it.
Yeah, he called it a map for music, and I thought it was quite a good way to describe it. And I mean, really, you took that and adapted that, and then Javier, you did the same in your own way again.
And the script then changed from being a map for music to being a map for dance, just so we all would end up on the same destination but taking different scenic routes somehow. And because he also understood when he started knowing what the process of creation of dance was, for instance, with the final words, which are the most beautiful words, the most incredible thing is that no one was jealous, we'll dance that. And therefore it was really clear to me that I was really going to see. I wanted to see the words, the physicalization of words. So we came to that. I wanted to read them. I didn't want to dance them. I think it was more important. So it became a mutual respect to the final subject, which was really Hans Christian Andersen and what could be dance and extent. The main subject was going to be dance and the things that we wanted to read, because many of you hadn't read the story, we were going to show because it was as beautiful to see them as to dance them.
Great. That's it. Thank you very much, Chris.